G'day everyone, Jackson here. Welcome back to the Daily Endeavours for the 3rd of May. We have a 15 seal set, as before, but I just want to go through the Golden Vendor. It's a little bit different today than what we're probably going to be used to seeing. There are many more monster sets than normal. So it appears to be a PvE content related, just like big splash of different sets. Because most of this is like dungeon stuff, but then you've got Mother Sorrow as well in here, just thrown in for the mix. So most of this stuff I don't think is worth buying, because they're all base game dungeons. They're all relatively easy to do. Like even on Veteran, all these dungeons are outdated. They're really easy with like a good Order's Wrath, like other build. You can just fucking DPS them really easily. So Lord Warden is a good tanking set, but I mean, even then, I just wouldn't spend this much gold when Imperial City Prisons. It's a base, like it's a free DLC, and the dungeons is not difficult to do anymore on Vet. So I just don't think this is worth buying. But yeah, if they end up, because I imagine the next few weekends is going to be similar to this, because I imagine this is event related, because there's a lot of dungeons in the event, and I imagine they're seeing if people want to buy this stuff in relation to that. I will say more of the Infernal is pretty good for Pet Sorks. I think they're changing the way Pet Sork effects work, like the passives in relation to pets, but this is like the go-to for Pet Sorks regardless right now. So this is pretty good, but Banished Cells 2 is not a difficult dungeon to do vet to get this on your own. So yeah, I just don't think any of this is worth it. Like, oh god, I could talk about all this stuff, but it would take me like an hour, and I don't want to make an hour-long daily video. If people want me to do a proper run-through of all this stuff in like a separate video, let me know. But I just don't want this taking forever. Like, I don't think anything here is worth buying anyway, so yeah, I'm just going to leave it there. Because, like, here's the thing, right? You look at the Mother Sorrow jewelry. The ring is 125,000 gold here, but if you look at Tamriel Trade Center, people are selling these things on guild stores for, like, close to half the price. Why would you bother when this is not only like, affected by FOMO, but fucking more expensive than the fucking ones you get on guild stores? It just makes no sense. So yeah, don't bother buying any of this shit. It's not worth it, I think. Okay, so as far as endeavors go, it's not a great set. You've got two relatively easy options, but then the other one depends on what you've got available. So 10 skeletons, furnishings, Battleground match, Thieves Trove, and then durables master it. So this requires Thieves Guild. This requires you to have level 50 in one of the crafts, and if you don't have enchanting level 50, you're going to need to have traits research too. And for some of these masterets, you're going to need a lot of traits. It's going to need a lot of researching. And then if you can do this one, it's not too bad. But yeah, this one, if you don't have any crafting, you've only got a Battleground, which I would say this is like the last ditch. Like this is the what is it? Yeah. This is like your last resort. If you don't have access to any of this other stuff, these two here, then do that one. The only reason I say that is sometimes waiting for a Battleground to pop can take ages, especially if because you see here, queue times may fluctuate depending on the population in queue. Sometimes this shit can take way too long. But yeah, if you're gonna no other options and you absolutely want those 15 seals, do a Battleground. And you know, if you like Battlegrounds, sure. But personally, I'd just do these two and just again call it a day, just like yesterday. Alright, so I will start with Furnishings. This one's relatively easy to do. What you want to do is come to this location here in Vocal Guard, just next to Mara's Kiss Public House. There'll be a lady here you can talk to. She'll have a quest. All you have to do to complete that quest is just talk to her. That's it. Once you complete that quest, you'll get access to a house. It'll come up in the maps housing tab right here, and it'll come up in collected. It'll be either Mara's Kiss, Ebony Flask, Inrim, or Rosy Lion, depends on the faction. So all you got to do now is you travel to the house. So Mara's Kiss Public House is right here, for example, so you can just go in. But if you want to get there quickly, if you don't want to do the whole fast travel animation. You can also, like, if the one you get is like further away. So if you go to a way shrine, you can skip the animation, just going straight into the load screen. Okay. So regardless of if you get these free ones or if you have one that you've already bought, what you want to do is you can either go into the housing editor, you can either pick this up and put it away and then undo, and then you can, on the bottom left there, you can see it says redo, and you just keep pressing those two over and over. Or, same thing, housing editor, go to browse at the bottom. You can get an item that's in here. Like if you've done dungeons, you'll have some trophies as well that you can place. But what you can also do is you go browse, retrieve, and if there's an item on the floor, if it's like far away from you, what you can do is you can click, put it away, and then go exit at the bottom right, and now it'll say undo as well at the bottom left there. So just press undo, redo, and yeah, it's just the same process. Either of those ways works, and so for free you can just get this one done super quickly. So those are the options there. So I just want to say again, that whole undo redo strategy wasn't my idea. It was the idea of one of the viewers. So if you're still watching, I do appreciate that, and yeah, I just want to say you guys make this stuff better. So I just want to say my thanks once again for the viewers that support me for all this stuff. I do appreciate it very much. It's I'm not perfect. I don't always come up with the greatest of ideas for doing some of these endeavors. So if you got some ideas of your own, don't ever be afraid to recommend them to me. Okay, so in regards to skeletons, you do need to maybe keep in mind the Golden Pursuit if you want to do these both at the same time. There's some things you can do that coincide with each other. Firstly, dolmens, right? So dolmens and incursions, these count as dolmens as well. There are skeletons that can spawn at Dark Anchors. So if you do some Dark Anchors for this today, there is a chance you could get both of these done at the same time. Banished Cells 1 is probably my go-to for just getting this done in general. And if you want to do a Banished Cells 1 run to get progress on one of these Banished Cells, like one of these dungeon ones as well, you can do that. So yeah, there's things you can do. In Deshaan, because there's one of the Delve Boss ones is in Deshaan. Which one is it? The Corpse Garden. This has skeletons in it. So if you go and you want to kill one of the Delve Bosses for a while, you can also do this as well. So that's another way to do it. Endoom in Glenumbra is another Delve Boss one you can do. So Endoom is here. This has got skeletons in it too. I can't remember... Hold on, let me just have a look. Okay, the Delve Boss is a ghost, so yeah, that doesn't count. But yeah, you could do that as well. Crypt of Hearts, the dungeon down here, has skeletons in it. Yeah, you got a lot of options here. But if you just want to do... If you've already done like all this stuff and you just want to do the skeletons, I'll just show you what I do in Banished Cells 1. So you can find them here, Banished Cells 1. There are a couple of other places you can find skeletons. I'll just list them now. What I would use is, there's two things. You can either use the Forgotten Crypt in Deshaan, even though you don't, it's not like public dungeon bosses as the challenge in Deshaan. I'd still maybe try the Corpse Garden instead if you've got a way shrine nearby, but it's a lot easier to get to Forgotten Crypts because this way shrine you start with by default as soon as you enter the zone. Same thing with Bleak Rock though. God damn it. Trying to look at the zone, not the way shrine. Fuck! Oh my god. There we fuck. God damn it. So, Sky Shroud Barrow. This has got skeletons here as well, and there's quite a few skeletons that you can use here too. And, you know, if you start as Ebonheart Pact, you start with this situation by default. So, Ebonheart Pact characters, easy access to this. But yeah, I think Banished Cells 1 is just the best because it's instanced, so other players can't come in here and kill these things. So when you come in here, everything's ready to go, and you just waste less time waiting for stuff to spawn. So I like using this stuff. And the skeletons aren't very strong either. They're a bit stronger than Overland, but not ridiculously strong. And when you get down here, there's another group here. What I usually like to do is come into this corner here. So what that does is it pulls the ranged enemies into one spot basically, and allows you to just AoE everything down. Just keep in mind, there's a limit to how many enemies will like theoretically engage you at once. If you want to grab all the back enemies that are just waiting to fight, if you damage them, they'll all automatically aggro like all the other enemies. So yeah, that's all you have to do here. Alright, Thieves Troves. So I will link this in the description. This is a really good thing to have for whenever the Thieves Troves endeavors come up. Because Vardenfell here, this is a zone you will have access to regardless of what DLCs you own, because it's a free DLC. And this website here actually has a map showing most, if not all, the locations for Thieves Troves in this zone. Now, because this is going to be accessible by everyone, just keep in mind that other people are probably going to have the same idea. Now, the problem with Thieves Troves is they are fucking unreliable. Unlike other nodes, where there's usually like probably 100 in the zone, there's only like 20 in a zone normally for Thieves Troves. And the odds of you finding a Thieves Trove in an area is actually quite... It's not high, or not as high as like other nodes kind of thing. So the odds of you actually finding a Thieves Trove here is unreliable as fuck. That's why I don't like using this endeavor either when I can avoid it. But there is another thing I will show you. Just give me one sec. Interactable game map. I don't like the ESO hub one. I much prefer this version. So I'll link this in the description as well. If you go into a zone in far enough, you'll see like all this stuff spawn, like all this stuff show up. Blue chest icons are Thieves Trove locations. So all these spots here, you want to keep an eye on. So if you go... Oh, interesting. If you go through and just have a look at all these locations, you'll be able to check these areas here to see if they've got a Thieves Trove in them. Like, for example, there. So you could find some Thieves Troves by doing that. It's not guaranteed. None of these Thieves Troves are guaranteed, unfortunately, but they're the two ways I'll suggest it. And the thing about this is, despite this being like a really good map for how many, like all the Thieves Trove locations, this one covers a shit ton of zones. Like, it covers everything. Well, almost everything. I mean, you won't find any Thieves Troves in Stirk, I believe. So there's another Thieves Trove location there. Yeah, maybe give that a whirl. See if you can get fortunate with that. I would say you'd be better off looking, like, you'd have the best chance using, like, sort of higher, like, later story alliance zones, or like older DLC stuff, like Hrothgar, for example. Because these are probably going to be the places where people are searching for these the least. Oh man, look at all these searches here. Yeah, maybe give that a shot if you got Orsinium. I'll see if I can go find one. Aha! Here's one. Alright, so I'm just going to just turn up the volume quickly to show you. What's the noise? So you can hear that the like low pitch ringing noise. Was it low pitch or high pitch? I don't know. So yeah, you can hear them if you're close enough to them. So do keep that in mind. So that can help you find them if you're close but you can't actually see them. So yeah, sometimes they're not there, sometimes they are. It's just the luck of the draw for those ones. But yeah, definitely take a look at the maps to give yourself a head start for that. If not, you can just run across zones, see if you can find one, but your mileage will highly vary. It'll vary. Durables Master Writs. So there are 5 sealed writs you can use for this. There's the 4 equipment crafts. You've got jewelry, woodworking, clothing, and blacksmithing, and then you've also got enchanting. Even though you consume glyphs to put on armor, I don't know why they're not consumables Master Writs, but fuck, whatever. That's Cinemax for you. So I think enchanting writs are the best, because you don't need to go through crazy amounts of researching in order to be able to do those writs. For enchanting ones, it's literally just all you need is the runes. That's it. You don't need any of the styles. You don't need any of the knowledge. The only annoying thing with these is a lot of these ones are like in guild stores will be prismatic glyphs, which you do not want to be doing, because Hakejos are fucking expensive. But ones like this are pretty good, I think. 2 vouchers, yeah. The only thing is it's expensive, but that's the thing about sealed writs. If you don't have one of your own, it's going to be expensive, but it's going to be quick. That's the only reason you do this. Or if you want to do quests for the Golden Pursuit thing here. But then again, if you've got access to Master Writs, you've already got access to Writs, and they're just going to be better anyway. That I can do. Now, if you don't have access to enchanting, everything else requires a lot of research, usually, in order to get access to the rest of them. But jewelry, there's only 2 you need to research stuff for, and you don't need styles either. So if you have access to Somerset, and you've got max level jewelry crafting, and you just have some stuff researched, do consider this. Because all you need is the unlike the other ones where you need the specific item researched with that specific trait, the style as well. Whereas this one is 2 items out of a total, like 1 item out of 2 total that you could need research for, versus like 6 upwards of like 14 items that you need for these. And you don't need the styles either. So it's easier. The only thing is these usually require... It costs more to make this stuff if you don't have the materials. Yeah, I'll just do these. Also, if you are on PC, there's an add-on called Writworthy. I'll link this in the description as well. You can use this to automate your master writs as well. So all you do is just tick these, it'll make them for you, and then all you do is you find the writ giver, have access, like for example, say you get one where the master writ tells you to go somewhere that you don't have access to that DLC. What you can do, like don't worry, it's all good. What you can do is you can get to a guild hall. So if you join a guild in the game, they'll usually have their own guild hall with a bunch of master crafting stations. If not, if you go into home tours, if you go maybe browse or recommended, you can usually, like if you look through, if you get lucky and find one in here somewhere, there will sometimes be like a, it'll say like craft hall or something like that. And if you go into it, there may be master crafting stations. If there are, just make sure you go right click and add favorite so you can access it from that point anytime. If you want one on PC, NA or EU, I'll link some as well in the description. But yeah, I don't play console, so I wouldn't know any of those, sadly. If you've got any on console that you use and they're in home tours, then yeah, let me know in the comments. But yeah, for now, I have no information on that. But for example, the jewelry crafting stations here, if we just come here, we'll do the Writworthy add-on, and I think Dogobon's add-on also crafts it automatically for you. Do I have everything we need? Yeah, cool. So keep in mind, if you don't have an add-on to make this for you automatically, everything is listed here that you can, like, it tells you what you need to do. And it will never be a max level item. It'll always be a one CP 150 item. So we'll craft that. Now we've got improvement. You'll know if it works if the quest icon's here. And that's it. And now it'll say craft the jewelry, and now it'll say deliver the jewelry. So you're all good to go. So my advice here, if you don't have the house Flaming Nyx Luxgare to travel to yourself, if you do, you can travel outside, and that'll get you straight to Rolos Lalu from where the guild hall is. If not, go to home tours, browse homes, and go Flaming Nyx Luxgare. Now, there are other ways to get to this guy, but I definitely think this is the quickest way to go. So you just travel to the house. When you get inside, you just leave the home. Now we just travel a little bit south and we'll get to Rolos. So there are other way shrines to get there, but if you travel to the way shrines from the guild halls, it will not. It will cost gold. So if you want to avoid that, you can. So you just hand it in, and that's it. So you also get a class endeavor scrap, which is handy to get that script going. So yeah, that's all you got to do for this one. Is there anything else I need to add? I'll just point out for Battlegrounds, I'll also link some like learning material in the description as well for this. The only thing is, it doesn't matter how you perform in the Battleground. Win or you lose, you'll get this one done. That's the saving grace for this one, I suppose. But like, you'll be able to easily do these usually by the time you even get into a Battleground, let alone do the whole thing. So I try to avoid this one when I can. But yeah, I'll make sure there's learning content. So there'll be one that explains how the Battlegrounds work, like what the game modes are and how to play them. And then I'll just have one for general PvP knowledge, how to build, how to think, that sort of stuff in regards to PvP. Just understand, I am not the kind of person you want to be asking for that sort of information, because I am useless at PvP. But I do have a little bit of knowledge, at least. Alright, so thanks everyone for watching. If you've got any questions, as always, you just let me know. I'm always willing to answer questions. So thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for your support as always. I'll see you all next time, and take care. And have a good weekend.